340B safety net, community health care providers are facing steep cuts on April 1st. The governor's proposal is on April Fool's Day. That's right. The governor's proposal is going to harm the safety net. The Senate and Assembly One House budget bills have rejected Governor Hochul's harmful Medicaid pharmacy carve-out proposal. They have rejected the proposal. Senator Rivera has introduced a bill, an impressive reform bill that preserves the safety net and also reforms Medicaid pharmacy system. It keeps the pharmacists whole, it keeps the independent pharmacies okay and doing well, but it also prevents the disruption to community healthcare providers.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
There's a few things going on today. So we are a little bit removed from where we originally were, but where we are not moving from is the position in which we're in right now is to protect safety net institutions all across the state, to protect FQHCs all across the state, to protect HIV SNPs all across the state. Yes, indeed, all the levels. So this is simple. Back in 2020, when the original MRT2 came out, and we all know that sequels are rarely better than the original. One of the proposals suggested that for on behalf of savings, don't you love that word? Yes. Savings, that we would make a transition which would ultimately have an impact on all the folks that you see here. The folks that you see here are attached to institutions all across the state that serve the most vulnerable. And because of the 340B program, they have resources that are available so they can creatively serve those vulnerable populations. And so, the bill that we put together is a bill that tells the governor, and I was just talking to the governor over there, because we are on the second floor, so I'm sure that either she's listening or other folks are, so hello, Madam Governor.
Hello, Madam Governor.
We're just saying very clearly and very simply, we don't want this to happen because of the impact that it will have on these institutions. And guess what? We have a way to compromise here. Because to be clear, and I want to make sure that this is heard loud and clear, because the pharmacists were here yesterday, they were in my office yesterday, they were in these halls yesterday, and I want to make sure that I talk to them and tell them, of course we care about community pharmacies. And we have a way to protect them, which is what is written into this bill. So I would ask them to join us right now. Right now, and I'm very aware of this, our good friends the PBMs, and I'm not a fan of those people, certainly take advantage of pharmacists, which is why we put protections into the bill. Things that don't currently exist in state law to make sure that they can be protected while setting a floor of $8.50 per prescription. And actually, in our One House, and this was the leader's decision, we actually went up to $10.18 per prescription. So we actually matched what their concerns are right now. So, I'm just saying to all these folks behind us, but I'm specifically talking to the governor. Madam Governor, we can do the right thing. We can achieve everything that we want to achieve, and we can protect these institutions. The bill that I put forward is a good compromise bill, and I want to make sure that we get to the right place together. We can get this done during the budget. Let's make sure that we do not. I was just talking to my colleague Jessica here, who's told me that she does not want an April Fool's joke, right? That April Fool's joke you're talking about? We don't want that to actually happen. So let's make sure that we either pass this bill or inject it right into the budget, and we'll make sure that we do that with all of your help. Thank you so much. Thank you.
For community members first, I want to call up Senator Webb to come and speak as well, one of the co-sponsors of Senator Rivera's bill. Thank you, Senator Webb.
know, for me, this is both a personal issue. I represent a district that is rural and urban and suburban, and in a time in which we know firsthand the important and critical services that our safety net hospitals and community health centers provide on the heels of a pandemic that we're still reeling from the devastating impacts of, especially in our most vulnerable communities. Now nor ever is there a time for us to cut resources to these critical services that have been proposed. And so what I think is important to lift up with my colleague Senator Rivera's bill is that it is a way to address both provider and patients. And one of the other things I want to include also is that when you're talking about safety, right, what does that mean to have that safety? And there's things that we need, our core essential resources as human beings, like having health care. It is an essential need, right? It is not a privilege, it is a right, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. I just want to make sure we're facing them right now. And so it is so important that not only in this budget, but in every single budget cycle that we make equitable and inclusive investments in our healthcare systems, because in the Senate One House, we are recognizing that we're trying to rectify years of significant underfunding. And so we cannot afford, nor should we ever take step backs when we're talking about the livelihood of New Yorkers, especially those who are most vulnerable. So I'm proud to stand with all of you today, and we will continue this fight to ensure that these resources are protected and continue to be invested in. Thank you so much.
So I want to emphasize that the governor's plan, the governor does not, right now, does not have a proposal that will actually keep healthcare providers whole. They don't even have a proposal for the Ryan White providers. Yet they are pushing forward with this April 1st implementation. It is reckless, and it is a radical departure from the kind of leadership we need. The kind of leadership we need is right here pushing back.
And we voted for her. Oop, did I say that?
And so we have to counter that. We have to be the counter. So we have Senator Ramos here to speak with us today, and I thank the Senator for being here.
Yeah. Good morning.
My name is Jessica Ramos. I'm a state senator from Jackson Heights, Queens.
Yeah.
I also happen to chair the Labor Committee in the state Senate. And to me, this isn't just a health care bill. This is a labor bill too. This is a small business bill as well. This is a bill that will protect so many vulnerable communities, many of whom I represent back home, where we speak 200 languages. People come from all walks of life. We proudly tout the second largest LGBTQ community in New York, including the largest transgender community. We're talking about folks who depend on these healthcare safety nets more than most. And that's why I wanted to lend my voice in support of Senator Rivera's bill, because we want to make sure that they have the choice of being able to buy their medicine where they want. You know, for weeks now, since the beginning of session, I've been hollering about how high the rent is, how expensive groceries have gotten, and everything else. But shit, so has medication. Medication keeps on getting more and more expensive. And somehow, the executive budget proposal doesn't seem to understand that poor people across our state are suffering, and that taking away these services that they rely on is not the right way to actually recover our economy. So we asked the governor to do the right thing, to see the One House proposals, to take them seriously, to actually repeal the 340B plan and ensure that these folks can continue to access the medication at their community pharmacies like they would want. So thank you all for advocating for this, and hopefully we'll see it in the final budget.
Yeah.
providers from across the state. We have providers here from Rochester, from Buffalo, from Albany, from Queens, from Brooklyn, from the Bronx, okay? East Harlem, right? So this is going to be damaging to Health and Hospitals Corporation and all the safety net hospitals, and it's going to be harmful for the providers. This is a really bad proposal across the board. And so I thank Assemblymember Bronson here, who is one of our greatest champions in the Assembly.
Thank you so much. And you know, it's always hard to follow Senator Ramos, but I know if I'm in a room and Senator Ramos is there, I'm in the right place. So this is a wonderful advocate. Listen, 340B. What does it mean? It's not just a pharmaceutical program set up by the federal government that we participate in. It's not just, you know, a mechanism that we purchase and get pharmaceuticals to people who need them. It's about people.
How about that?
It's about people.
How about that?
It's about people living with HIV. It's about people who are homeless. It's about people who might be addicted to drugs. It's about our brothers and sisters and siblings who are in our communities. In the Assembly, we call ourselves the People's House. I say to Assembly leadership, if we're truly going to be the People's House, then let's eliminate the 340B carve-out. I would like a complete repeal. But short of that, we have Senator Rivera's bill. It's a compromise bill. It's a bill that I see people here in the hallway who have worked on this for months and months and months. It's a bill that takes care of some of the interests that the state wants. It takes care of what our healthcare providers, community providers, Brian White facilities, and hospitals need. And it takes care of the pharmacists. We need to get a full repeal or push this compromise. And when people say, well, it doesn't go far enough, and we need to have the Department of Health manage it. I ask you this. How well did the Department of Health manage COVID here in Indiana? How well did the Department of Health manage the employee benefits that we wanted to go to the healthcare workers over the last year? The Department of Health is not equipped to do this. They are not equipped to do this. So let's do the compromise. Let's make sure that folks who need discounted pharmaceutical medicine, they get it. But beyond that, in the world of living with HIV, we know that if you stay on your medication program and you get undetected, that not only saves your life, but it prevents you from transmitting the virus to other lives. We know that with 340B, with the benefits that folks like Trillium Health in my area get, they can then provide nutritional services. They can provide other services that are wraparound services beyond just the medical care that they're giving their patients.
That's right.
Yeah, Trillium.
Yeah.
340B and all the providers across the state that participate, they save lives. They see people for who they are. They see the dignity of every human being, no matter where they come from.
Yeah, they do.
They see them no matter what their health issues are, no matter what their drug issues are. They see them as people, they recognize their dignity, and they want to make sure that through 340B, they offer them the help they need.
Yes.
So, we need to make sure we get this compromise bill done this year. I'm there with you. Let me share with you though. that I, Senator Ramos, Senator Rivera, and the many other Assembly members and senators who support this bill. We cannot do this alone. We rely on all of you. We need your voices. We need all of your voices. We need them to be heard often, and we need them to be heard loudly. The next few days are key to making sure this happens. So any Assembly member you know, any senator you know, your senator, your Assembly member that represents you, pick up the phone, call them, send them an email. Do not let a day go by that they don't hear from you between now and April 1st. We can do this if you have your voices heard. Thank you all.
That was such a rally.
Hey, can you take a
cry
picture with him,
to
please?
celebrate folks.
Yeah, there's there.
So we've heard from our legislative champions, and there's so many more in the legislature who pushed back against the governor's radical, harmful, proposals.
You got a bingo card?
I don't. You work with him? No, he doesn't. Just go on the Assembly webpage. You can send me a message. Harry Bronson.
I want to say that, first of all, I'm not a number. I'm not a quota.
Say it louder.
I'm not a number. I'm not a quota. I'm a human being. And this proposal is putting so many people in danger. My story is that I was sick, and I was getting sicker. And I went to the hospital, and my doctor told me, let's do some blood work. I came back, he said, you can't take this medication, you have to take this. Now I'm sick, I'm tired, depressed, because here I'm going through another medical crisis. And when I went to my pharmacy, they said they couldn't fill out the medication. And I'm sitting there and I'm stuck because this is my life. What was I able to do? I called Harlem United and I explained to them that I'm sick, I'm tired. I can't get the medication that I need to live. They got in contact with my health insurance, Care. They were able to call the doctor and the pharmacy. And in 20 minutes, I got my medication. Now, if we follow the governor's plan, I would have to call an 800 number. We know how the 800 numbers are. You're not going to get no answer. Maybe after they kicked it upstairs, a couple of days later, you might have got a response. I couldn't wait a couple of days later. I needed my medication because this is my life. And if I'm not taking my medication, then I'm in trouble. So now a person that has a mental health crisis, do you expect them to call an 800 number when they need medication or help? Who's going to help them? This bill is going to be detrimental to people who are HIV positive, to people who have mental health issues. This is going to affect our housing. Do we need more homeless people in the street?
No.
This is going to affect mental health. Do we need more people in the street that have mental health issues? Do we need more people that have HIV that can't get medication? No. So we're asking the governor to please repeal the 340B. Senator Rivera has came up with another option that's viable, and it's going to work, and it's going to save us. Why put us at risk? So we're asking you, Governor, we voted for you, now it's time for you to vote for us, and repeal the 340B. What do we want? Repeal the 340B.
Carve out, yeah.
Repeal the
Medicaid carve out, yeah.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. So Anthony, when you said I am not a number, I got chills. I got chills. Thank you.
We're more than just a number. We're more than a quote.
Exactly.
And this is our lives. Not only our lives, our family lives. This reaches so many other outlets that it's going to disturb our mental system here.
Thank you. So, we've heard that this is going to harm safety net hospitals like Health and Hospitals. It's going to harm all these community healthcare organizations coming from across the state to be here today. So I thank Assemblymember Gonzalez Rojas for being one of our champions.
I'll be very brief because actually the most important voices are the ones standing next to me and behind me. Health is a human right, and that's a simple, basic fact. And it's a belief, and it's a vision. And if we believe that as a state, we must save 340B. We must save our safety net hospitals. We must invest in the care that everyone needs and deserves. You know, I fight for values, equity, dignity, and justice. And those values are encompassing in with the fight that we're having here today. This is about equity, this is about dignity, this is about justice, and this is about care and love. And this will save so many lives. It is unconscionable that we're even fighting over this. It's unconscionable that this ended up in the governor's budget, but we are fighting. The Assembly stands strong. We are here to protect 340B. I want to thank my colleague, Assemblymember Bronson, who's been a ferocious, relentless fighter on this issue. I want to thank our speaker for standing with you, us, in this fight. I want to bring my community forward. I have Apacha just outside my district, and most folks in my community get their care there. This will help save lives, ensure those living with HIV and AIDS have the resources and medication and care that they need to not just survive here in New York, but to thrive. And that's why
unconscionable that they would put forward this proposal without any real assessment of the harm of how it's going to impact racial health equity or people's lives. But the governor goes forward, so it's great we have champions in the legislature. I want to hear also from the provider's perspective, asking my colleague Harry Janjulis from Albany Dating Center to speak with us today.
I'm director of the Albany Dating Center right up the street, and I'm also a person who's living with AIDS. And this is happening in 9 days. I look around at some of my fellow executive directors from around the state, and we're all a little green with nausea right now. Because we know the fiscal impact is coming. I use the 340B savings right now to help house people, to provide people with meals, food, to provide mental health counseling. 25% of my budget is going to disappear in 9 days. I asked the governor, I would like to ask the governor, why are we still doing this? Amir and the Department of Health, OHIP, they have money in the budget. I have not heard one thing from them as to when we would receive money, how we would receive the money, what I can use the money for. 9 days away. Why are we still doing this? This is the questions we have to ask. We have a compromise that works. So we need everyone's voices. And I truly want to thank Senator Rivera, Assemblyman Palm, for pushing this forward with the alternative compromise bill. That is going to work. That can work. But make no mistake, if something is not done in 9 days, we are going to throw out the fiscal cliff. And I would like the governor to come over right up the street to the Albany Dating Center and let me know which OR people I'm going to have to evict, which meal I'm going to stop serving, which, well, mental health, I've got to do the whole program now. So we all ask her how we manage the mental health crisis. Or should I just send everybody down here to go hang out at the Capitol all day long? along and see if they can get mental health services here. I would like to answer those questions. So my message today to the governor, why are we still doing this? But I want to thank everyone for your support with this. Keep fighting. We've got 9 days to go.
Thank you, Perry. We also want to hear from the perspective of somebody actually providing care every day, providing health care to people who need it. So I'm going to ask Dr. Pierre Ardi to join us and share some brief remarks.
Physician. I've been in this business of treating people, saving lives for at least 25 years now. And you've heard from other folks who've spoken, and I don't want to just echo what they're saying, but I want to tell you a little bit about Housing Works and a little bit about what I do. Housing Works is one of those safety net facilities, okay? What do? We save lives. We treat people with HIV, we treat people who have hepatitis C. We treat people who have mental illness, depression, panic disorders, anxiety disorders, post-traumatic stress disorders. I'm a psychiatrist. I treat these things. Before psychiatry, I did medicine. So I am someone who can speak about both. This, if this program is not repealed, it would be the harshest thing, the worst thing that you can do to people. The young man who spoke here, Anthony, said he is a person. We are in the business of treating people, not just statistics. My understanding is that if this goes through, if the governor's plan goes through, the safety net facilities, each one would be losing approximately maybe $8 million. Overall, $125 million for other safety net facilities. Well, those are numbers, but what does it mean in terms of a life of an individual, such as Anthony who spoke here? Okay, what does it mean in terms of the consequences of somebody who is living with HIV, who has his medication repealed and he can't get them? For those who have HIV, you must understand that these individuals have to maintain constantly taking the medication. They can't skip a day or 2 days or 3 days or a week or a month while waiting for some legislation to come down to say, yes, now you can have your medication. Why? Because the viral load will go up and set the person back, and we don't want that. Okay? In addition to that, consider the mental health cost, and I'm not talking about money, but the mental health cost of such a repeal, in terms of the anxiety, in terms of the depression, in terms of some exacerbation of some post-traumatic stress that I will need to treat, that other physicians will need to treat, that other
Can you send a picture with him? Those two.
other FQHCs will need to treat in terms of sending someone back. Someone sits back in terms of their viral load. You have to work back up to get them to take the medication to get the viral load down again. It takes work. It's honorable work. It's a God-given work. It's work that we are called to do. So I will say that this 340B program, in terms of it has to be repealed. There is another alternative, a compromise, Senator Rivera's compromise, which would be much better, okay, in terms of being humane to treat individuals and still be cost effective. All right? So we are going to continue with the work, medically, psychiatrically, and advocating on behalf of those that we treat. So, thank you.
So we have one more speaker, but I want to do a little bit of chanting. So 340B saves jobs, 340B saves lives.
340B save jobs.
340B saves lives. 340B saves jobs. 340B saves lives. 340B saves jobs. of community healthcare workers here. And this is key, that the system across the state, community members can go from being a patient to being peer workers to being fully paid staff. And that is an important component of our community health care system. And those jobs are important, Governor Hochul. Those jobs are crucial to the success of our healthcare system. They are crucial, and you cannot put those on the chopping block. It is unacceptable. So, we are going to continue to be back. Our colleague from the Alliance for Positive Change, Guy Williams, is Director of Prevention. But I know you are in the field and you know you do this every day.
And he's my boy.
And yeah, exactly. And so, what impact? Sum it up. What is the impact on the people you care about and on the people you work with of this carve-out?
So,
Sum it up.
So how y'all do? My name is Guy Williams. I was told earlier, it's going to impact people who work at the Alliance. It includes full-time staff members. It includes our peer educators. But the carve-out is going to do more damage because our peer interns, they go out in the field and help find clients who are lost to care. So we have peer interns who go out, knock on doors, get clients who build that rapport, that support, to come into the agency, come to the pharmacy, and become virally suppressed. Why is that important? Because when you have a low viral load, you have a higher chance of reducing the transmission of HIV. But what happens is that it's not done one time. It takes time and time again for the peer interns to go out in the field, talk to people, build that confidence. So with the carve-out set to happen in 9 days, that could be eliminated. So what would that mean? People will go back to high viral load, getting sick, going back to the hospitals. And this is the same thing we're trying to avoid with the ETE, end the epidemic. So on one hand, we're trying to end the epidemic with all the nice proposals they have, talking about PrEP and PEP and treatment adherence, but then they want to carve out the 340B. So it's a contradiction. So what we need to do is we need to talk to you, Governor Hochul. You need to hear us. People are voting for you because they believe in you.
How about that?
Believe in us. So what I want to say is repeal the carve-out.
Yeah, God. Thanks, God. Yeah, God.
Repeal the carve-out!
Repeal the carve-out.
Repeal the carve-out! Repeal the carve-out! Repeal the carve-out! Repeal the carve-out! So we're going to do one more chant. Say when you say it, think about all the people you work with, all the people you care for. We have to clap, and we still remember them too. Okay? We still remember them too. Save our safety net! 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 Thank you, everybody! We have to come back, and we have to keep coming
Can you take a
back.
picture behind them?
All right?
Yes, there.
What's up? All right, we're wrapping up, but we will be back for all the press. Please come and we'll give you information on when we'll be back.
Next week.
All right.
Next week we have to.
Save our safety net! 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 Let's go! Save our safety net! Save our safety net!
Save our safety net.
This is my sweetheart.
Save our safety net.
Save our safety net.
Save our safety net! Save our safety net!
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Healthcare not jails. 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 Healthcare not jails.
Healthcare not jails! When bail reform is under attack, what do we do? What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When healthcare is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When healthcare is under attack, what are we gonna do?
Stand up, fight back.
This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Save our safety net. 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 Save our safety net.
When bail reform is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
When healthcare is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When healthcare is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up, fight back.
When bail reform is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When healthcare is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When the community is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
When bail reform is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When healthcare is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When bail reform is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
No rollbacks. Protect the safety net. 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 No rollbacks. Protect the safety net.
I need one group over there. I see some security, so she might be going out this way. Let's keep one here and one over there.
Yeah.
I forgot
Liddy.
Hold on, we'll have some-
Hi.